The athlete will start on their back in the bent knee iron cross. The athlete will bring their knees up to their chest with the arms outstretched on each side with their palms facing up. They'll slowly lower their knees to one side before slowly reversing it over to the other side. The aim here is to keep your shoulders flat on the ground. The athlete will then let their knees drop to one side and they'll bring their arm round to the same side. They'll start by drawing an arc with their hand that is off the floor around to the opposite direction. They'll then slowly return back to the starting position. Staying on their back, the athlete performs a back roll before reaching into a V-sit. The aim here is that the athlete reaches further each time they've performed a back roll. From the V-sit position, the athlete will bring their knees towards their chest so they're in a squat-like position. They will then allow their knees drop to one side, where they'll then reach as far as they can over their front shin. They will then return back to the squat-like position before allowing their knees to drop in the opposite direction. The athlete will then get into a bridge position. They will shift their weight onto one hand. During this movement, they must make sure that they're driving their hips up towards the ceiling whilst extending their arm as far out as they can. The athlete will then get into a downward dog position before taking a big lunge step out. From here, they're trying to touch their elbow off the ground. They'll then do a T-spine rotation 4 times each side. The athlete will then return to the downward dog position before going into a hip flexor stretch. It's really important that the athlete tucks their pelvis underneath and that the arm on the same side is extended overhead. They should hold this stretch for 15 seconds each side. On all fours, the athlete will thread one arm through, reaching as far as they can on the opposite side, keeping their palms facing down towards the floor. The athlete doesn't have to keep their opposite hand straight, they can bend this as much as they need in order to reach as far as they can. Staying on all fours, the athlete will then perform hip circles. Starting with smaller circles, the athlete will spiral out to larger ones at the end. They'll do 10 forwards and then 10 backwards for each leg. Now going into a lunge position, the athlete will try and extend their front leg to straight. Now in a standing position, the athlete will perform a Cossack squat. The athlete will need quite a wide stance with their toes pointed about 45 degrees. They'll then lower their hips into a deep stretch position. The athlete will now descend into a comfortable squatting position. Make sure that the knees are always in line with the second toe. Holding onto one ankle, the other arm is rotating out into the opposite direction. The athlete will then hold on to their toes and squat down into a deep squat. They'll then let go of their toes and raise their hands overhead before standing up. The athlete must try and get deeper each time whilst making sure that their chest is up and that the elbows are inside their knees.